Mic check. Do you guys hear me now?
Okay, we can hear you now. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
What the hell was I going to say?
you stand upon a ruined landscape. The gray ash crunches beneath your feet. Withered trees abound as if you're in an area that has been torched by forest fire. Uh, you can see the landscape is littered here and there with the bleached bones of the dead. Some of the dead basically are obviously not humanoid, but those of you from Tir Na Nog recognize them as various creatures of the Fae that perished under the holy fire of the Empire. Uh, Off in the distance, you can see a ruined keep, blackened by fire. Uh, its bits and pieces of its walls still stand, but the once golden keep of Tir Na Nog, the the shining keep, the golden castle, lies in ruins. You can see here bits and pieces here and there, bits of its once shining glory, but the only uh, the only structure that still remains of it, the outer crenellations and walls have fallen into have huge breaches in them, but the inner keep seems to be moderately in whole. They're just sort of a gaping hole where the front gates should be to the inner keep. Uh, Off in the distance, you can hear this sort of mournful howl of a Bargist, one of those disgusting creatures that is sort of left over from uh, the only thing that's left in Tir Na Nog is scavengers and anything that basically burrows and hides in the ground. Uh,
Feels like this is more depressing than it should be.
yes.
Mac just doesn't even respond or look around. He just instinctually goes to climb up on like a somewhat high rock, and then just gives this low, baleful, mournful howl. He's not even really thinking at this point. He just lets out a howl that carries despair and sadness and
Okay,
regret
and then
over the sight.
I'm assuming Dirk is raised in the UK, right? So
Yes. And
Dirk,
Dirk, before anybody does anything else, wants to mark where we landed in case it's significant in trying to get back.
okay. You do so. There is, as you go to mark the ground and sort of rub away some of the ever-present ash that covers everything, you can see the silvery lattice work of a magic circle that has been etched into the ground here. As you sort of kick your feet through the ash, there's a large platform here upon which this magic circle has been scribed.
Okay, so guys, we still have those candles that are supposed to be, like the,
Oh
the guy
yeah.
who sold it said that they might work. So I think we probably want to see what's going on around here, but if we need to come back, that's a possibility to work on the circle then.
Okay.
Zumlar has like like a 1,000-yard stare as he's staring at the castle, and then all of a sudden he just changes from like really sad to really really pissed off, and then you notice that he's
You
changing slightly.
you've heard bits and pieces of Zumlar's when he is particularly really drunk. Is he tells you the story basically how he fought in the Golden Keep in the Last Stand, uh, and then he shuts up about it. He just never basically completes the story,
Zumlar,
as if
are you
something really really bad happened there, and he just doesn't want to talk about it.
Zumlar, are you okay?
I just I'll growl a little bit and look away.
Okay.
Do you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I was just like looking between everyone, like, oh my god, what happened? This is
And
bad.
then, and this is the one this is the place essentially where Mack came under the werewolf curse, basically, as he was on the front lines, basically putting a torch to basically the Golden Keep, essentially.
Like,
A lot
I
of
got
people got
infected here.
cursed. A lot of people got cursed by the final final curse of the Fey Queen and King, essentially, in this place. A lot of soldiers never came back home quite the same way.
You can say that again.
Yes.
Came home human, turned, like, over the course of a few days in my family's home, and was cast out as a monster.
Aw.
So everyone's gonna start noticing that Zumlar starts slowly walking towards the Golden Keep without saying a single word.
We sure we want to go that way? Just like trying to like kind of quietly look over at Zumlar.
Okay. All right. Does everybody just sort of follow Zumlar up to the Golden Keep at this point?
Mack will follow. Yes,
Yeah, I
just
think-
sort of something's pulling him there. He can't. He doesn't
Okay.
understand it, and he's not questioning it.
As you walk up to the keep, a quiet unease settles over all of you, as if you're at the site of like an atrocity. There's something truly, truly bad here happened on both sides. As you approach one of the giant rifts in the wall between the inner and outer keeps in the sort of courtyard, you can see a set of standing black stones written in Sylvan. Okay, so I'm assuming at least Zumlar speaks Sylvan, but
I speak
does anybody
Sylvan
else-
too.
Okay.
Came with the curse.
Came with the curse. All right. You can see written upon the standing cairns, essentially. Are cursed to you, basically. Are cursed to you, Britons. May you never know the rest of home, regardless of how far you travel, essentially. And then you can see the sigil of the king and the queen, basically, sort of stamped at the bottom of these cairns.
Is this
So
where
I've already
the
walked.
is this where the maidens also did that dance to try and give power to the Fae before it went down?
So something along those lines happened. No one knows the actual full tale. Supposedly, all the Fae of the High Court, specifically a number of powerful elvish maidens, high elvish maidens, essentially high Fae maidens, sacrifice themselves in some sort of ritual, essentially to drive away the Britons. It obviously failed because the Britons eventually basically destroyed the Golden Keep and drove and basically brought Tir Na Nog to ruin.
So Zelmar is still walking towards. This time, you notice if you guys do, he's walking towards the throne room.
Okay. Well, as you
Where
walk into
everyone
the
wants to-
courtyard, the cairn stones around the central keep flash with eldritch energy as black and white streamers of energy ripple through them, and there's a steady thrum and pulse of mystic energy that basically charges the air around here. Does anybody actually stop Zumlar from walking into this stuff?
Mack is just sort of somber and only half paying attention, almost like he's being distracted, but by something he doesn't recognize.
I don't.
Hey Zumlar, do you know what these stones are?
It wasn't been.
Zelmar mentions just that the king and queen produced them as their dying. Well, how should I put this? It was like a dying curse that the king and queen did with their last breath.
It looks like maybe they're still active. Do you think we're going to get cursed here?
Yeah, we should probably not be walking towards the curse stones.
Zelmar doesn't care. He wants to be there. He wants to be with his fallen brethren one last time.
Okay, Zumlar, I'm assuming, is walking like a zombie straight towards these black, ominous stones.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I guess. I feel like this should not happen. So can Owl try to tug at least one of them away from the stone, or like try to tug both of them away? Like, no, this seems bad.
Mack isn't moving anywhere. He knows exactly what the stones do, essentially.
Oh,
He's already experienced the curse, so it's like...
They kind of don't. It's like
Mack is of the opinion, in the back of his mind, I can't get more cursed than I already am, but...
pretty much. Yeah, I'm not. I'm more just. Well, like I said, I'm not trying to. Like, this isn't a place to be looted. This is a
Zumlar
grave
is
site.
the one that's basically walking directly
Okay.
towards danger, however.
sorry. I thought like I got mixed up with the voices. I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess I don't think that's a good idea for Zumlar to walk towards a cursed rock.
Well, so like Al is grabbing at your elbow and cape and pulling you back at this point, and snapping her fingers in front of your face. Snap out of it, man!
Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
So what Zumlar's going to do? He's going to draw his blade, but not attack Owl. Instead, he's going to kneel and thrust his blade into the ground. And at this point, he denounces his oath of the ancients and takes up the oath of vengeance.
I will definitely step back for that at least. Just kind of not sure what to do and very wide-eyed and almost nervous.
And then in anger, he's going to raise his voice to the sky and just yell in just pure anger.
All right. The black and white energies that coruscate between the curse stones seem to detach themselves and drive themselves into like lightning being grounded into the guided into the ground by Zumlar's blade. There's an ominous ringing as of a bell tolling in the distance, and at this point, basically, Zumlar's blade has turned into a completely jet black.
Huh.
That's something you don't see every day.
You think?
And I would say Zumlar's eyes turn jet black as well. There's no, like, you don't see any white whatsoever. And he's even more angry than usual.
Zumlar, is there anything that we can do to help?
Just the death and vengeance for my brothers.
This doesn't feel good.
Who are
Give me
you?
1 second.
At this period of time, one of the coruscating energies that like dance between like 3 or 4 of the stones basically go quiet. And, the stones essentially become this
box of the farm bites.
simple black
Just
face
double check if you want.
obsidian.
Cool. Have a good night, man.
I'm sorry I didn't get some of that.
Okay, so some of the curse stones go quiet. They no longer coruscate black and white energies between them. So there seems to be a gap in the wall of curse stones at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Other than just ash and like the somber sounds of a dead kingdom, do I hear or smell anything?
You can hear basically the sounds of scatters. You can specifically hear the sounds of Bargus, i.e., spirit hounds, essentially that feed on the souls of the living and the dead.
They will have heard that howl that let out.
Yep. It's hard to tell the exact distance, but they can't be all that far away, given their howl is clear.
Can we tell how many of them there are by the howls? I know those echo and it makes them sound like there's more than there are, but any guess on that, Mack?
Your quick guess is you hear at least 3 distinct different voices of howls, so you're guessing at least 3.
Okay.
All right, about that period of time, you look through the gaps in the walls, and you can see glowing red eyes of huge, like 10-foot tall at the shoulder hounds made of inky shadow and darkness that seem to drip some sort of vile green glowing goo from their jaws as they begin to prowl in basically and sniff the air, looking at you guys as they sort of seep in through the cracks essentially of this place and take positions basically surrounding you all roughly in 4 cardinal directions. All All right. There are still gaps among them where you could bolt like up on top of the ruin like one of the rubble piles that make up the wall, or you could bolt towards the keep itself between the curse stones. So what is everybody doing at this point, or are you standing and fighting?
I think it would be better to go because we don't know what's coming up. But what is everyone thinking?
Well, Zumlar is still overcome with rage, so he's just gonna charge.
Oh shit! Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mack is going to stand and fight. This is a almost like a challenge to him. He's standing his ground.
Owl's gonna look amongst everyone. It's like, and I thought I was the crazy one. But these are her new friends, so she's got to join.
Okay, so
And how do I feel about those stones? Do I feel like it's because I'm from, Dirk is from England, so do you think it's safe to go through those stones or not? I'm thinking it's time to roll that. Would that be insight or history or?
Okay, the quick history check is you've never heard the tale before, and Mack and Zumlar have been so tight-lipped about their whole time in Tir Na Nog, in the Tir Na Nog campaign, and so have a lot of basically the people that have come back. They just refuse to talk about it. That no one has the history of actually what happened in the final battle. So.
Okay. So I don't know not to go through there.
You don't know not to go through there. You just have an uneasy feeling that going next to those things seems bad. Like that visceral, basically, feeling that this is bad, don't go there. But there's a gap at this point, so it looks like some of the stones have been inactivated after Zumlar made his vow to seek vengeance for the dead king and queen.
So Zumlar, would it be better to fall back into the keep or make a stand here?
Zumlar will say make a stand.
Okay. Then
All
I
right.
guess
There are places where you could put your backs to some of the little bits of wall that are left at this point. So, or you could climb up on top of the rubble piles and basically use them as a impromptu rampart. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
Dirk's definitely going to climb because he doesn't want to be tinkering with 10 foot high at the shoulder. Hell helps if he's a halfling.
Can Owl climb?
So everybody roll me initiatives. No one's particularly surprised by this. In the end, as the battle joins, you can see a full 8 of these things have all joined together in a pack and are circling you. All right.
Natural 20. Or 21.
All right.
12 initiative.
All right.
11.
1 sec. There it goes. Okay. Natural 20. So I got 22.
Right.
Dirk
You're
got a
up, Al.
6.
Okay. Zumlar, Al, what are you up to?
Well, fuck.
So
Let me look at.
I'm charging,
Okay, go ahead and roll your attacks.
and I still have like pure vengeance in my eyes, and I want death for everything in my path, very much. Okay. Does the black do anything for my sword? Is it like a +1, +2?
You don't already have a magic sword. Your sword is magical now.
Let's see.
If you had a magical sword, it has different properties now.
Yeah, I have +1 magical sword.
Okay.
Oh.
Its different properties are it does an extra 1d6 damage to basically enemies of Tir Na Nog. Which unfortunately does not apply to these hounds. So they're natives.
Can I try reasoning with them or no?
You could essentially. So use up your channel divinity, and you can try to command them away.
I think that the that's changed though with my channel divinity. Okay.
Yeah, channel divinity changed. I remember.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like, I think it makes perfect sense, basically, as a Vengeance Knight of Tir Na Nog to be able to command the Fey creatures of Tir Na Nog. So, go ahead and, if you want to burn your channel divinity, you can attempt to command these creatures.
I will attempt to command the creatures.
All right.
How do we spell Tir Na Nog?
It has a bunch of weird accents in it. I googled it. It is a Celtic word.
Yeah.
It does not like
you can
being
spell
spelled.
it that way, Tir Na Nog, essentially.
Okay, that's canon now.
Okay.
Yeah. Tir Na Nog is a place of what is it? I'm already forgetting the stories.
It's the Dreaming Land or the Dawn Lands, essentially,
Yeah.
to where from which the
Of immortality.
the first of the immortals of the Celtic legend come from. So, okay, so let's see here. We roll for these guys.
So I want to command them, stating that I am now Vengeance
Okay,
Knight.
so it may be that you're basically new at this, but only about 3 of the 8 basically, lower their heads and begin to back away slowly. The other 5 basically become highly aggressive as they growl, and as you hold up your black sword and point it at them, basically. Yield to the command of the king and queen of Tir Na Nog, and it's like, and 3 of them basically bow their heads, and the other 5 basically growl viciously. Al, you're up.
Okay. I'm wondering. I'm guessing. I think it would be good to cast some sort of spell. And you said they were like inky black sort of things. Would either Searing or Wrathful Smite be like at all effective on them?
Either one would be fine. If you do Divine Sense, you can actually figure out what type of creature they are, if you like. That's
I forgot that was a thing. Oh yeah. I'm gonna use one Divine Sense to kind of figure out what they are and what's effective against them.
You quickly realize that they are some form of undead. They're not fey.
Oh, lovely. Oh, great. So
Do you have
that's
Turn Dead?
Because he doesn't anymore.
Yeah, I think you do. It's one of your
Wait, what?
channel divinities is Turn Undead.
Turn
So
undead.
you as basically a redemption paladin can turn undead. So if you want to try to turn them, you can certainly do that.
I mean, yeah. Let's go with that. Okay.
This seems like
So,
a good time to use that.
Yeah. So it's Turn Undead. Is that like my
Okay,
second action?
so 3 of them, like their eyes, the glowing green fire in their eyes dims as they as their eyes crinkle and their jaws snap shut, and they turn tail and run. So there's only 2 of them that are still aggressive to you by the time it gets to Mack's turn.
Hey.
The 2 that are left, I will howl again. Sorrowful, angry, just regret. Both
howl back in response, essentially.
Both in empathy, but also challenging them.
Okay.
And if they do not either back down or kneel, which I assume is intimidation check, I will.
Yeah, you can try to intimidate them, sure. So go ahead and roll intimidation. Roll. You need 15 or better.
Would this still be with my charisma score or something else?
I don't know. Let's. If your wisdom score is better, you can use that.
Okay. Yeah, I got a 15. Exactly.
15. Exactly. All right.
14 plus 1.
All right. The 2 remaining hounds growl deeply at you, and but otherwise begin to slowly back away now that they've seen most of their pack come to heel. as they slink away into the shadows, and swirling bits of ash basically make them disappear off into the distance. You don't know exactly how far away these things are, but they don't seem to be directly trying to assault you anymore. All right, so the situation's diffused at this point. You've got three Bargus under control at this point, sort of coming to heel right next to Zumlar as if they are loyal hounds. The rest of you are keeping your far distance from Zumlar at the moment and the hounds, because they still don't look particularly safe. Let's put it that way.
I'm not
Owl-
exactly as afraid, but understandable.
Owl
Right,
is like petting her, petting Whisper out of like anxiousness, like a little fidget.
Whispers are.
Like that relaxes her a little bit because dogs are kind of freaking her out.
Krishana is
Zumlar
hiding
will-
behind Owl.
Someone will subconsciously start like scratching behind the ears of one of the wolves
All right.
or one of the Bargus.
It feels like you're like petting steel wool. It's not. They're not particularly soft. It's like sort of like you're getting the scraping noise of your gauntlets scraping across their steel-like fur. It's like, oh, that's really unpleasant sounding. That's really
Bad sensory vibes.
All right.
Oh, Zumlar.
All right. The way into the keep seems to be open at this point. There's a gap in the cursed stones. You could also try searching some of the outer crenellations and these sort of broken towers out here as well. So those are your clear options at the moment.
Oh, Zumlar's still making his way to the throne room.
Okay. So you head directly to the main keep. A blackened hole is all that remains of the once golden gates to the inner keep. You can see the intricate filigree and beautiful scroll work has been wrenched into a horrible tangled mess of metal, twisted metal and burnt wood at the moment. As if some huge force, like an explosion went off here, because it did. There's part of the ground in leading up to the front gate has also been cratered as of a tremendous explosion went off here. You can see the bodies of like both British troopers and the Tir Na Nog Golden Guard, like scattered about like dolls all over the place. Some of them missing limbs from the explosion. Let's see here, what else? And you can see the sort of remains of a desperate last defense here in the main hall, as there are like dozens of individuals that have been put to the sword. Zumlar remembers Zumlar is simply reminiscing over this period as he remembers being told to take one of the younger members of the royal family and flee into the tunnels underneath the keep. He never got to see the final battle, and he regrets it deeply. He would have found it better, more honorable to have died in this main hall than to basically have had to retreat with children. You can see a tall golden throne and a smaller golden throne, both of them which have been upended and dumped onto the ground, breaking off what were probably fine crystal decorations at the top of them when they were whole, but now basically look like broken bits of glass littering the ground in a large circle around both thrones, the king and queen's thrones. And then you see a pile of corpses of individuals that simply threw themselves in front of the British soldiers to see if they could stave off the final assault before they reached the king and queen. Strangely enough, the king and queen's bodies are nowhere to be seen. Whether or not they were grabbed by the British soldiers or what, it doesn't. Strangely enough, you're all trying to do. Especially like Dirk is trying to do some forensic analysis in the back of his mind at the moment, looking around the room, trying to figure out what happened. It's like, you don't see any of the bodies have been drug out of here, like enemy or ally alike, essentially. Everybody seems to be just where they laid from probably more than like 15 years ago. Their corpses have long since sort of like rotted away or mummified. So there's little scraps of and bits of flesh attached to bone here and there, but it's like. And strangely enough, the corpses are mostly whole, as if whatever. Oh yeah, then this is the other thing. The Barghest who follow you in begin to gobble up the corpses greedily, regardless of what you command them to do somewhere.
I just tell them to concentrate on the British soldiers. Don't touch the Tir Na Nogs.
Okay. That those commands seem to fall on deaf ears, as they seem to find their natural food source and just start gobbling it up. Okay, so the quick sort of look around the room, you're seeing that you were expecting that at least the British soldiers should have dragged out their own dead, but that doesn't seem to have happened. It's if something terrible happened and some great cataclysmic event happened and everything sort of like fell where it laid, and Mack remembers what happened. Essentially, the general said to put fire to the Golden Keep, and after the initial assault was repelled to the main throne room and like burned them out, and that was the last thing he remembered. And when he woke up again, essentially he was in a hospital.
I wonder if there was some sort of a curse or something that happened, and that's why no one came back.
That's probably likely. That's when you're guessing that is when the curse stones came into existence.
If anything,
Zumlar's going to search for his friend and his trainer, kind of.
Okay. He is not that hard to find. The captain of the guard, the champion of Tir Na Nog, his armors, even in death, basically cuts a stunning figure. There's this elvish knight, probably a head taller than even a human, essentially. So like a 6 foot, 6'7" tall elf. It's like his high helm and golden armor is unmistakable as he's sort of crouched down in his last moments, kneeling with his sword pointed to the ground, kneeling on the pommel of his sword, as if he, in his last moments, basically, he took his last breath, basically, kneeling, sort of facing out, defending the crown. You can see his body is just a little further away from the throne than anybody else's, as if he'd been standing there in defense and then finally succumbed to his wounds.
I will look at Zumlar and for the first time since we got here say, I reckon that armor be better for your hands than the dead.
Zumlar shoots him a slight, angry look, kind of like in disgust, almost. Like he doesn't like the idea at all, but not say anything. But instead, he'll kneel down before his captain, and pretty much he'll start muttering to himself, like saying, "Sorry, I'm sorry. I wanted to be here. Why couldn't it have been me?"
Okay.
And you'll visibly see tears running down his face.
Can Owl offer, a little piece of cloth, at least?
Okay.
Just she just, kind of,
you offer him a hanky to wipe up his tears. As you all are sort of puttering around the room at this point, its rich fineries basically are spoiled by what is obviously blood and battle and fire. As you can see, there were tapestries lining every wall of this place, beautiful silks, the bunting that probably went from covered every corner and eave, tapestries that depict sunny and hopeful times, have giant burn holes in them, or have been slashed or stained with huge splotches of blood. All right. Does anybody actually approach the fallen thrones?
Well, first, I think Dirk, once we came in, he started ritually casting Detect Magic to see if there's anything left in here.
There's a dark fairy magic over this whole place, and it's specifically surrounding the throne, as if that is like the focus of the curse, or maybe the origin of the curse.
Okay, so Dirk is going to tell everybody that there's some dark magic around here, and it's centered on the thrones. I think we need to be very careful what we do now.
Zumlar knows the layout of this place well. There's passageways to the right and left, essentially directly out of the main hall that lead to the servants' quarters to the right. If you head out the right, and then to the left is the noble family's quarters, and directly behind the throne are various rooms of state in the Grand Library, as well as the king's chambers, which is effectively his sort of like main war room / office where he took counsel.
Do I notice
above this level, if you were to take the stairs from the servants' quarters or the nobles' quarters, is basically is the royal family suite, and then also on the second floor is the garrison of the King's Guard. And then also from the King's Suite is the secret passageway into the underground. So these are all the places Zumlar knows well. So where is there a place people would like to go next?
First, does Zumlar notice that if the armor of his captain is better than his own currently?
The captain's armor obviously has big rents in it, basically, and stab marks, but it is mostly whole. It is certainly of a better make than his.
So Zumlar is start being a prayer and try to do like a ritual.
Okay, so I need what is it? Let's go with history or let's go with religion essentially to adhere to the right forms for taking items off the fallen for Tir Na Nog.
Is there any way I could assist him with this? I don't know if this is
not in any practical sense because you are actually the cursed. You will never basically be considered one of the chosen sons and daughters of Tir Na Nog. So
yeah,
you're specifically an outsider here.
Can I offer my assistance with Zumlar? I'll walk up quietly, like almost in a crying
Did you
voice.
originally come from Tir Na Nog? Are you one of Fairy Rose like refugees, or did you actually grow up in London?
I probably grew up in London. Half of my family is elf.
Okay. So you can roll with disadvantage. Essentially, only a native of Tir Na Nog is actually going to know the basically correct rituals at this point. So
I have a 22.
22. Okay, so you quietly you give what you think is an equivalent exchange. So you basically need to give something equivalent in exchange, and it really has to be something from the heart. Let's put it that way. So, because fairies really view basically things like memories of lost love and family, something in your past, something of great sentimental value, as precious, in high esteem and preciousness.
And you're trading it for what I assume is an equal memory. It's the memory of your fallen captain.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's not just better armor. Like, I say this because it is does seem significant enough for you. But that's why we're doing the ritual.
So I will pretty much pull up all the memories, all the good times I've had with my captain and my captain and friend, and I will offer that up.
You feel a sort of warm, a warm feeling like someone basically has given you a great hug, and the armor the armor sort of collapses to the ground as if it were empty, waiting to be picked up.
So with tears still flowing from my eyes, I will pick up the armor.
Okay, you've picked up this other weird bit at this point. You are physically forbidden from basically striking other elves, regardless of their background at this point.
Huh.
Half elven, full elven, doesn't matter. They just, if they have an elvish background, you will find yourself incapable of basically trying to do them harm.
And is it like plate armor?
And yeah, so it's +2 full plate armor.
Ooh.
And it is mithril, so it does not give you disadvantage.
Oh, damn!
Nice.
That is the second best armor in the game. Oh my god.
That's awesome.
That's only
Okay.
beaten by +3 mithril plate armor, which is just a +1 difference, but still.
Okay, so the other thing to keep in mind, essentially, is this is not this type of thing you can wear out on the street. Let's put it that way. So
You're gonna need some glamour for that.
this would be literally like any British soldier basically that sees this is going to basically be deeply, deeply incensed that you're wearing the basically honor guard armor of Tir Na Nog out in the streets of London ever.
Yeah, they gonna be on your ass.
You will get yourself arrested if you wear this out on the street. Let's put it that way.
Oh, Zumlar at this point, like right now, he just doesn't care.
Well, around here, of course, it's not a big deal, but I'm just saying, it's like, keep in mind, by the time you're back in London, you cannot wear this out on the street without having, like, big troubles. Let's put it that way.
Dirk will help you with that, buddy.
So you probably need to at least have the symbols of the kingdom, like, removed off this thing. All the basically styling on the epaulets and the pauldrons basically removed, so that it looked like normal, basically plate mail.
Normal.
As opposed to,
in air
I'm the
quotes.
honor guard from Tir Na Nog, essentially, with basically my honors of rank all over it for Tir Na Nog. So, okay, so as you pick up the armor at this point, a phantom yellow figure in a golden yellow robe with its face basically like shrouded in shadow. Even your best dark vision cannot pierce it. Appears in phantom form over the two thrones, like, and whispers out the following prognostication. Essentially, the Golden Kingdom has fallen. Lost glory sleeps here. Lost dreams. Lost hopes. I am the eternal despair that waits here. When the king and queen are away, I, the king in yellow, hold sway.
Oh.
Does he look familiar?
Oh, all of you recognize the king in yellow at this point. It's like,
Yeah.
it's from side descriptions, and it's like, and all of you are going, the fact that we have seen him is bad news. It's like, because the two of you that directly saw him in visions, it's like, we're already told, like, if you see the Yellow King, this usually means you're going to die.
Just, oh, it was nice. It was nice while it lasted.
But all of you are going, well, no, we've all seen him. That's great. That's great. That's great.
In for a penny.
Does he say that and disappear, or is he still there?
He says that and begins to fade out of existence as if you were never there.
So Zumlar is going to go to the war room, and he's just going to do some reminiscing.
Okay, we'll all go.
Okay, so which room did you want to go to next?
The king's war room.
King's War Room. Okay, you head directly behind the throne. There's strangely enough, the doors are intact. And they seem to be barred and locked from the other side. Which, now that you think about it, you went out that way and barred and locked the doors behind you. So it's gonna take some amount of like hacking and chopping to get through these doors at this point. And there's a powerful magical ward on top of that as well. So. You think back in your mind and whisper the command word to the door. There's a shimmer of golden magic that dissipates over the surface of the door. Well, we would have taken the keys. We took the keys with us when we fled the keep, essentially. But this door is barred from the other side. The only way we're getting this open is if someone can either phase through this door or we're going to have to chop it down.
In the vein of not wanting to disrespect this place, does Krishana not have that ethereal ring? Or am I thinking of something else?
Yes, Krishana has the ability to turn ethereal and walk through walls.
Has she already used it? Because I don't think we got a long rest before.
As far as I know, we have not had a long rest.
So I wasn't keeping track of that. Krishana, do you still have that?
Yeah, I still have that pretty pouch. And Krishana is kind of just looking around empty. She has not seen this type of horror before, so she gets an insanity
It's
point.
alternatively very, very pretty, as if there's beautiful objects to art everywhere, but they're all despoiled with like blood and fire and like giant holes.
Yeah, she's on the break, about to like break down mentally. She hasn't seen any of this. Did you want me to go through the wall, sweetie?
I look at Krishana and say yes.
Okay. You zip through the wooden door. There's a heavy bar on the other side. You put your shoulder under it and heave it off. This thing weighs a ton. It's like almost 60 pounds of 60 pounds of like ironwood. You're guess like the wood that is hard as steel. The door itself, basically, you work the lock on this side and like pull the door inwards towards yourself. The beyond is a what appears to be a huge sand map, essentially, with numerous troop indicators sticking in it. Beautifully carved pieces of pewter, bronze, silver, gold, wooden chits, basically indicating lesser units here and there. Simple flags of silk indicating maybe a command unit here and there. So there's this huge battle map in the center of this room currently. It shows, and what it shows is a desperate last stand, as there's no units left except for the keep itself, and there's like this giant huge number of units of encircling forces in rings around the Golden Keep. The king's desk is sort of like shoved up against one of the walls. This beautiful ornate desk with griffin sort of like shaped griffin legs, essentially, and that is gilt in gold and made of beautiful hardwood, and sort of has a sort of tiger stripe wood grain pattern across its top. Zumlar is remembering back to a time when the king, during peace, would often entertain the younger members of the court here by holding impromptu magic shows on top of that desk. And that time seems very, very far away at this point. Whether or not there's anything useful in the desk now is a good question, because as the war drug on, this desk had basically just sort of like sat in the corner for the better part of like 5 years. And then the king's high-back chair sits at one end of the war table, and then there's a whole bunch of like sort of simple camp stools going all the way around the edge of this table that various generals would have sat at previously. Curiously, one of the seats has a large number of like small down feathers surrounding it, as if whatever creature sat here before might have molted as they sort of picked off loose feathers. Maybe someone who was winged or an avian sat in this chair at some point or another. And another chair has sort of golden fur like stuck to it, as if someone who was furry sat there. So you're looking around. Zumlar goes over directly to one wall, pulls down a torch sconce and a set of stairs folds themselves down into an underground passageway in the far back side of the room. Okay, so those are the things you see in this room immediately. There seems to be no one in this room at this point. No corpses, and it probably would have made more sense if the people here either escaped, that would have been in this room, either escaped or fought in the last battle.
So Zumlar is just wandering around trying to go through memory lane.
Okay, so
I think Dirk probably wants to take a look at the desk and see if there's anything of interest there. Is detect magic picking up anything in here?
magic indicates the battle map is a magical object of some remarkable amount of power. You're guessing it might be able to actually replay the given an enchantment about it has to do with something with memory and time. So you're guessing it may be able to replay the steps of a battle or for review later on. And it's some sort of powerful scrying device as well. The desk, you can see that there's a moderate level magic essentially sealing all its contents away, so that so until that is dispelled or gotten rid of, essentially the desk cannot be opened.
Would Zumlar know what the magic is?
No, that is something only the king or queen would ever know.
Okay, I can. I'll do dispel magic on it.
Okay, oof. All right. After that, Krishana and yourself can go check the drawers. There's the seal of state for Tir Na Nog in here, which is another magical item. The stuff sealed with this seal is proof against tampering. It can never be forged. Anything this stamped with the seal can never be forged or falsified. It also basically, and the seal also, when your hand is placed upon it, I guess assuming eventually you identify this thing, while your hand is placed upon it, you must tell the truth. It doesn't have to be the whole truth. Essentially, you can still withhold information, but the things you speak must be true.
Sort of like zone of truth.
Yeah.
Well, it's like zone of truth with no save. Let's put it that way. Essentially, anything you speak must be the truth while your hand is upon the seal.
Or not speak at all.
So I've got to identify. So I'll ritually cast that on this while we're tinkering with things. So we'll figure that out.
Okay, and then basically it has effectively anti-forgery capabilities, so any document stamped with this cannot be tampered with. So
what if you said anti-falsification? Like, what if a false statement or a lie is on the paper and it gets stamped?
Then it remains that way, basically. So whoever wrote whatever, essentially, it can't be tampered with after the fact.
Gotcha.
So it's not that it ensures what is said is true on documents. Let's put it that way. Let's see here. There's also a magical block of sealing wax, which you assume goes with the seal, and a sort of like self-igniting candle that ever-burning candle that can be started and extinguished at will. That never burns out. Let's see. So if you want a lighter that never, you want the eternal lighter flame, then this is it. And then
Very cool.
there's lots of beautiful beautiful parchment in here. Essentially, perfectly square, even tan color with a slight sort of metallic glint. Sort of like slight mica tint glitter across its surface. Essentially, the type of stuff that you would kill for to basically make a spell book out of or write scrolls on. So, and then there's a whole bunch of griffin feather quills. So there's probably easily like 1,000 gold worth of like top tier writing supplies in this desk. There's also a giant bowl of candy in one of the drawers. Given that king and queen were very fond of entertaining the younger members of the court, that makes sense. The sweets seem to be still good, as if some magic has preserved their state. So Krishana is grabbing a bonbon at this point and is sort of like making munching noises.
I think Dirk is going to take I think Dirk is going to take all this writing stuff and put it in the bag of holding. Yeah, I think if we run into Lady Emma again, she may be interested in some of this. Krishana, do you need any of it?
I would like a few pages for my new ritual book, please.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
All right. What's some other weird knickknacks that are in here according to the list? Okay, so there's a paperweight that you can magically vary its weight from anywhere from a few ounces up to 20 pounds.
Can I snatch that one? I really like that.
Sure.
Yay!
Absolutely.
I feel like it's good. It's like good throwing material if need be.
Yes.
So Zumlar's going to go back. He's going to wander his way back into the throne room.
Okay. At
And
some
his-
point or another, you notice all the Bargus have just sort of, after finishing their meals, have vanished, as if they were never there. Zumlar's understanding of Bargus is that they're technically spirit hounds anyway, so it's like it's very hard to keep them locked down to begin with. So they could have just evaporated through the walls.
And so Zumlar's going to look around and see if he can see, like the second in command to the captain, and see if his armor is still good.
You're checking around. There are the 10 Royal Knights are the 10 Royal Knights are in here. So those actually 9 of the Royal Knights are in here. So yes, there's other high quality full plate mail in here.
So he's going to call Owl over.
Owl's gonna scamper up with this. So he speaks, but like with like a playful smile.
And I look at you like, okay. Kind of like, you know.
This is like that scene from Pretty Woman, right?
And then Zumlar's going to do another ritual for this one of their armors.
Zumlar knows essentially you can't basically bargain for another in a fairy bargain. Essentially, the person involved, must be the one to sacrifice, essentially, or give a gift.
So I look at Owls like, do you want better armor? Pretty much.
Owl's just, I mean, you know, I like being not stabbed as easily. What's going on? What are we doing?
So I'm going to start walking her through the ritual.
So he explains to you essentially, if you want to take items from the dead in this place and not get cursed, Tir Na Nog is famous for this, by the way. You are in the lands of the Fae. So
Yeah.
the idea is equivalent exchange. You must basically give something of equivalent value to the thing you take.
Okay. Don't have too many valuables.
It doesn't have to be basically a physical item. It can be a gift,
A memory.
a song, or memory, or happy time in your life. And if that pleases the spirit involved, essentially, they will accept your bargain.
Ooh, okay. Owl's gonna take a second, and I think she wants to.
And I told her, I'll tell.
Has there been a time specifically where Al feels she has been really redeemed herself or others? Because that's
No.
her-
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is that she actually wants to give up one of like a good portion of the memories of her childhood best friend, who's very closely attached to her oath of redemption. Like, not all of them. She wants to keep like her like younger ones, but like the more painful ones, she or not painful ones, but more of like the happy, calmer moments in her life. She's okay with letting that go.
The spirit, you feel a reassuring, basically, hand on your shoulder as you offer this gift of happy memories, and you feel unburdened.
Nice.
All right, and then you may take the armor. All right.
All right.
So you have +1 mithril plate mail at this point, so that is AC 19 armor.
And you don't get sneak disadvantage.
Okay, let me go find that. I'm sorry, I gotta add it, or I'm gonna forget it.
By the way, I now have a 23 AC.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are there any cups around? Goblets?
Yes, there's
Oh,
plenty of cups and goblets sort of stashed at the edge of the war room table. And there's beautiful sets of figurines all across the table here that seems like they might be interesting mementos.
Would Krishana be able to maybe trade the bottle of wine she found in the Davenport mansion?
Well, you plop down a bottle of wine and grab a golden goblet, and nothing bad seems to happen, so that seems okay.
So Zumlar is going to make his way up to like the barracks area, like armory / barracks.
Okay, I assume you better pull in your team because I'm gonna strongly advise people not to wander off
No,
separately.
we're going with him wherever he goes. I think we all need to stick together. Come on, guys.
Agreed. Owl's gonna perk up after getting the armor and then like look over to Zumlar and like gesture him over if they walk off.
And usually,
And Mack
Dirk.
has basically been like doggedly following Zumlar around, just like you know this place better than I do. I feel like I have to atone. I'm coming with you. Sort of vibe.
And Dirk generally doesn't wish that he was a larger person, but looking at all this gleaming armor, that's way too big for him. He has a moment of height envy.
What was the armor called again? Oh,
Mithril.
Mithril. Okay,
Mithril
perfect.
plate.
Mithril plate. Okay, perfect.
Plus
Thank you so much.
1, yeah.
Mithril plate.
All right, you wander.
Oh!
You wander upstairs, and there are troops. There are the bodies of troops around here, but they're completely dismembered, as if their pieces have been torn apart and picked clean of flesh and bone over time. And something, and I literally mean something, is like staring at you with golden yellow eyes out of the corner of the room. Regardless of how you try to focus your eyes and look at it, it seems to be continually slightly blurry and out of focus as you see a maw open up in this thing rather than horizontally like a normal jaw, like vertically, like as if its head sort of splits open into a set of like nasty tooth maw. As one set of arms, then another set of arms unfold themselves from this sort of mass of like blurry darkness.
I will not look at it. I will smell. What does it smell like? What does it sound like?
It looks rancid.
It smells
looks like it'll give me a headache.
It smells like nothing you've ever smelled before, essentially. It's confusing. There's the smell of like sunshine and open meadows, terrible rot, like something metallic.
Oxymorons almost.
Yes, like there's it's a chaotic jumble basically of smells that make no sense whatsoever.
Would Zumlar recognize or know what it is?
No, it is something beyond any of your ken, essentially. But just like as you all try to peer at it, like and try to figure out what the frick that is, it quickly sort of literally steps into a wall and like phases out of existence. I need an initiative check for everybody.
Anything else we ought to know about here, Zumlar? Okay.
Well, I think all of you saw that. Basically, you all sort of like headed up to the top of the stairs, went into the garrison room, and saw, okay, something has picked the bodies clean on this level and shucked them like shrimp.
Would this piss off Zumlar? Like seeing it? Like...
Zumlar is more along the lines of basically this is dangerous and everybody be on guard at this point as he draws his sword and gets ready for battle.
So he rolled a 19 initiative.
Nice.
All right, so this thing has a 13. So let's see here. All right, Zumlar, I guess you're first again.
Uh,
Mac, what was yours?
10.
10. Okay.
let's see, what do I want to do?
Right now, you cannot see it. It just seems to have phased out of existence.
Because I was going to do Abjure and blah, 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 blah. God damn it, I can't talk.
Big move.
One of my channel divinity things.
Well, you've used your one channel of divinity for the day to command the Bargus at this point. So,
Can I call back the Vargas or no?
no, your turn undead, your command undead ability really only works for 1 minute. So,
Let's see.
I just gave it to you that they basically wandered away peacefully rather than turning around and attacking you again because I didn't feel like running that combat.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate that honesty and not having to fight them.
So Zumlar is going to move his shield into like a defensive position in front of his group,
Okay.
and then he's going to hold his action.
Hold his action and attack it if it comes in range. All right, great. Krishana.
She is gonna go to her hiding spot, which is behind Owl, and hold Eldritch Blast.
All right, and then Dirk.
I guess I'm gonna hold. I will hold a crossbow.
Hold ready with a crossbow.
And then I'm gonna.
Check.
I'm sorry.
Because I'm going to assume your detect magic is still probably up at this point.
Yes, definitely. It's gonna be just like constantly renewing. Yeah. Did we see anything?
Okay, well, what was your perception check?
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that part. That was a 9, so I think I was probably cleaning under my fingernail.
Yes, you don't happen to notice the disturbance in the force, as it were. Okay, all right. At this point, multiple arms and a jaw basically all pop out of magic portals, dimensional portals, next to various people and bite and or claw them.
Ouchie.
Well, that's if it could hit, unfortunately. All right, as several people wearing heavy armor at this point sort of casually look at the claw, like, attached to their leg, and they're going, all right, this armor's pretty good. This armor's pretty good.
God damn.
As it basically makes sparks as it tries to, like, scrape up and down your leg. Okay. Let's see. Dirk is not quite so lucky as a bear trap set of jaws basically clamps around both of her feet. His feet, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Ow!
How close is Dirk to me?
I will give you a disadvantage hit because Dirk is technically behind everybody else.
Can I try and, like, grapple this thing as it, like...
That's exactly what I was going to do.
It hasn't been your turn yet, so no.
Okay.
If you had a held action, then yes, but in this case, no. Okay, so 12 points of damage, Dirk, as it chomps on your legs and and begins to drag you into wherever nether dark place, basically the rest of its body is in. So I need a grapple check. So athletics or acrobatics, DC 18.
Oh, that's not so good.
And I will like assist by like reaching out to
Oh,
Dirk
that's
or
a
anything.
17. Dang.
So
Okay.
Dirk is still like head and shoulders out, sticking out of this portal, but is flailing around and obviously losing the battle at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to grab for Dirk as well. And the second I see its maw or its claws, I'm going to start like hacking.
Okay, well, make your grapple check as well, DC 18.
So can Dirk stab it with his +1 dagger or with his rapier? Since
Sure.
he was holding an action?
Yes.
Okay.
24.
All right. You handily rip Dirk free of the portal, and as Dirk stabs down, and the portal sort of like, and then gets some like purplish ichor at the tip of his blade as the portal snaps shut just before, just after Dirk's tips of Dirk's boots clear the portal. Dirk notices that the heel of his shoes are missing at this point. Just like a moment later, he might have gotten cut in half as the portal closed.
Dang it, I'm even shorter.
Otherwise, all the flailing arms, flailing claws and arms, sort of zoom back into their portals at this point. Everybody who had a prepped attack action can certainly make their attack at this point.
Um,
Well, I stabbed him for 11 while it was trying to take me.
So I got it.
so Zumlar's going to command Owl to take up the rear, so there's a wider range protection.
Owl's gonna get her blade ready and do that
Okay, got it.
immediately.
I think Mack got to go because he was at the bottom of the round, right?
So that people that were hanging around in the back can't be grabbed, but
Oh wait, no, mace. I'm gonna use the mace.
uses the mace. Got it.
Yes. Okay, sorry, let me roll the thing.
All right, you got the 7 damage. Got it.
Oh wait, it's like 2d8 for the mace, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need to roll to hit. It has.
Oh.
Okay. It has what is it? AC 18.
Okay. Let me roll to hit. Which button? Actions. Mace. There we are. Okay. I'm gonna. Sorry.
All right, you got 2 attacks.
Damn, I rolled a 3, I think. So then the second one, I rolled a 4. So none of them hit. Damn.
Okay. All right. It jets back into its little hidey hole before you can get a swing at it. All right. And then Zumlar, you have 1 attack left. You can either grapple it or you can attack it. So depends
So
on.
I'm pulling the thing back through, and I'm going to
All right.
try to string
You try to
out of it.
grab one of its wrists of one of its arms and pull it back through. Okay, make a grapple check. All right, it rolled bad, so it got 11. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna succeed.
Oh yeah, I got a 23.
Okay, so you pull one of its arms almost fully through. The rest of its body doesn't come all the way through, as this thing has extremely long arms. As you pull out like 6 feet worth of arm, and it's just like, well, is this gonna stop at any point? Does it keep on feeding it through this tiny portal? Okay, so you got one of its arms like pinned outside of its hidey hole at the moment. Let's see here, and then Dirk. Oh, Dirk, you already stabbed it.
Yeah, I stabbed him, so I think
Okay,
Krishana.
okay, I think we're at the beginning of the round again.
Well, Mack.
Mack.
Seeing as Zumlar has this thing pulled out of its container, essentially, I'm going to try to get a swipe in. And I would like to rage.
Right, you got 2 attacks. Go ahead.
I wish I did. Next level! Next level.
Okay.
What's this thing's AC?
Speaking of which, everybody take a note. Basically, level up. You're level 6 now, or level 7?
7.
We're level 7.
Level up to level 8 for next session. So.
Yay!
Next session.
Yay!
What's this thing's AC?
18.
Just hits. Alright. For 7 slashing damage.
You got it. Okay, so beginning of the round, people, Zumlar.
I'm going to continue trying to pull this thing through.
That's the limit of what you can pull through, is like an arm.
Alright, I'm going to hack off the arm.
Okay. It has AC 18.
I have a +7, so
11 or better. Go to it.
I actually got 11. 18
Ah.
even.
Okay. So do your 2 attacks and give me full damage. And apply any smitiness you want to apply to this.
So 11 for the first roll and 19 for the second, so both hits. Okay. So 21 damage.
Got it.
And then I'm going to use a smite. Second level smite.
Right, that's 3d8.
So that's about 43 damage. in total.
Nice.
Damn.
Zumlar is still pretty angry right now.
Validly so.
This bitch ate your friends.
Okay, let's see. It is now out. Well, actually, Krishana's turn.
Is the arm still sticking out?
The arm is chopped off.
Oh, okay.
Can I see any part of it?
You can see an open portal into nether space.
I am
It's
going to
about
cast.
the size of a dish.
I'm going to cast Sacred Flame into the portal. DC 15 save.
All right.
Deck.
Got it. You don't hear any. You're ineffective basically, as your sacred flame basically shoots behind the portal plate of the portal and hits nothing. Okay. Ow.
I'm gonna smack it with the mace again.
Well, there's nothing to smack anymore unless you're gonna reach into the portal and basically try to smack it in there.
Oh wait, right, Lawrence. I almost forgot about this. Spiritual, ancestral protectors.
Okay. What does it do?
Disadvantage against anything that isn't me, and if it does manage to land an attack on anything that isn't me, the creature has resistance to the attack.
Okay, got it. Perfect.
Okay, I think
Right,
Dirk was next, and he's gonna hold an action to stab the next thing that comes near him.
Okay.
Al, did you want to hold an action,
Oh yeah.
or do you want to shoot something in the portal?
I don't really. No, I don't, because I feel like I'm gonna lose my mace if I do that.
Okay.
I'll hold 2.
Hold 2. All right. Now it is the bad thing's turn. Let's see here. The thing from outside time and space makes its attacks. Let's see here.
Thing that should not exist.
Okay. Zumlar has one of those Wile E. Coyote moments as basically multiple claws basically clock him in the head from multiple directions at once.
But he's got resistance to it because it's not me.
Yes. Okay, so you take half this damage, Zumlar, so you take 16 points of damage total.
So half the 16?
No, that is already halved.
Okay. Oh, and if he tries to disengage, I do get an attack of opportunity.
As spectral werewolves basically get in the way and basically block some of the damage going to your head.
Nice.
Okay, everybody with held attacks, go ahead and do your thing.
Okay.
Does my attack of opportunity activate when it tries to attack when it attacks me?
No. It effectively is in combat with everybody, in close combat with anybody at any time, regardless of its range, because it can just reach its arms and jaws through basically dimensional portals and get at people. So.
Okay, I got a nat 1. I'm gonna re-roll it.
I rolled a 22, so So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
roll
hit.
damage.
You hit easily, so you have 2 attacks. Keep on going.
Dirk
Okay.
just
I
keep
look at-
stabbing the wall.
I look
So-
at Owl and say, try to grapple it.
Okay.
Oh, grapple it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do that. It's athletics, right?
Yes. So
Yeah,
you need
so-
DC, what is it? 20 in this case.
All right. I got a 23.
All right, no problem. You wrestle one of the arms and pull it most of the way out of its dish-shaped portal.
Yay! And then I also had rolled I had 2 actions, right?
Yes.
You have 2 attacks. We
Okay.
all only get
You
1
can
action
do,
per
do
turn.
2 grapples if you want to grab another.
Oh, sure. Let me do that. 1 sec. Gotta get. There we go. And then this time it is a 17.
All right. So the second one isn't as successful as the first one, but you definitely have one of the arms pulled out into the open at this point. Krishana, what are you up to?
I had already Sacred Flame didn't miss.
Oh, you Sacred Flame. Well, this is a new round. So what are you doing now?
Sacred Flame again, DC 15 dex.
All right. Give me full damage.
– 12 total damage.
So total damage. Okay.
I'm going to start safe to Zumlar and give him a bardic inspiration.
Okay. Your Sacred Flame severs the arm that is hanging out that Owl has pulled out of the portal at this point. And then that portal shuts, and then no more portals open around you guys at all. So it's sort of quiet in this room. Unnaturally quiet, but quiet.
This entire place is unnaturally quiet.
No, I'm saying the rest of this place is has weird creaks and groans and that sort of stuff, but it's just quiet in this room.
I'm almost imagining it like Hyrule Castle from Breath of the
Yes.
Wild.
Exactly.
Like
Can
something is
There's all
here.
sorts of gaps and holes in this place, especially after it was sieged, that sort of give it this unearthly, whistly, howly quality as just wind blows through it. But this room is quiet. Okay, so there's every bed in here has been upturned, every locker smashed open, anything that might have been food has been eaten, anything that was flesh or bone has also been eaten, and little bits of flesh and bone seem to splatter the ground or the walls or the ceiling around here, as if whatever ate them was an extremely messy eater.
Now it's an extremely messy splatter all over the floor.
Yes.
Do I see?
Zumlar has some memories of basically being a garrison guard here as part of the Royal Guard, but it's none of the bits are recognizable as anybody knows at this point. But it's also been over 15 years, so...
Do I see
bits
any
and pieces of mementos that you recall? Is here's Elwyn's base music book, and here's Marcos's love letters from his last that none of you ever basically he was never willing to introduce to the rest of you, so you always assumed basically that was his made-up girlfriend.
Even elves
the,
have waifu body pillows too.
There's
Cursed.
There's Lil Wynn's loot here. Unfortunately, it's kind of shattered at this point. The whole front has been staved in. So
What kind of
you can
loot
see
we looking
bits
at?
and pieces of people, mementos of people you remember around here about the time the castle fell, but they're obviously long gone.
So Zumlar is going to be hunting around for a better weapon for Owl.
Okay. In this, well, the ground floor would have been a good place for that. So eventually, you sort of fish around. there's the champion of Tir Na Nog's sword, which is this sort of beautiful great blade that has a filigreed hilt and a elvish prayer scribed in Sylvan along its blade. The nine of the 10 guards of Knights of the Realm. Their blades are basically individually famous for their various deeds. So you sort of pick one essentially that seems suitable for Al and hold it out to her. It's like, you must dedicate yourself basically to the cause of restoring Tir Na Nog if you take this.
Well, what if I mess it up?
It can't get much more messed up than it is now.
You have a point.
But I would ask that you take the oath now. It does not change your paladin oath. This is just basically saying, I swear to basically restore the glory of Tir Na Nog.
Yeah, Owl's just like, she doesn't. Tir Na Nog is it was good, right?
Yes, it is the golden lands of the Fae, essentially.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. It's like if it's something she could recognize as good, then she would more.
Basically, Owl was probably part of the pantheon of. You're part of the Christian pantheon, basically. The type of celestial you are is like a standard Christian angel. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So that's the type of celestial you are. So you're not a celestial from the Tir Na Nog court. Let's put it. Otherwise, we would be Fae in origin.
Okay, so like I'm switching sides in a sense.
Yes, that would be the case essentially. So, but that being said, your ancestry is not your destiny. So it's just like. It just depends on how you view the world.
That's some Confucius shit right there.
And I think you weren't really like that enamored with the one true God because you couldn't remember like the Holy Trinity and the vegetables and the notes and everything. So
you talking about VeggieTales?
And the other thing is like you as a paladin also worship one of the old gods, one of the gods of Tir Na Nog. So it's like not if you're a non-traditionalist anyways. Essentially, your parents might be slightly disappointed, but just like you do you. That sort of deal.
That also begs the question: why did they destroy this place for being different? Like, is that really that good? That is also what Mack is basically going through his entire head right now. Like, why the fuck did we do this?
Yeah, no, now that I understand that a little bit, Owl, no hesitation, would do that shit. Absolutely.
No, Mack in the back of his mind knows why Great Britain did this, essentially. There was, like, huge wealth of, like, magical materials to be extracted out, because you're in a magic punk society, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a huge wealth of magical materials to be extracted out of Tir Na Nog, essentially. The British sort of did it without any treaty initially, and then when the courts of Tir Na Nog objected, they went to war with Tir Na Nog as the British Empire has often done with any basically colonial.
Hey, we want your shit. No, it's our shit. Fine,
shit.
Fuck you. We'll fight you.
Yeah, give us all your trees.
I need all your trees, gold, and other valuables. Wait.
No, that's our stuff. Fine. Now you're dead. Amen.
Exactly.
So, like, okay, so wait, what was the sword again?
Oh, let me pull up the stats here. A second.
Champion of Tir Na Nog. It's a great sword, but I didn't get it.
No, essentially, if you there are also there's the other 10 knights of Tir Na Nog that basically represent all various 10 virtues. There's one that probably that matches redemption relatively well. So let me look at the list here 1 second.
Yeah, Zumlar is just trying to kid out Owl.
Is trying to
Kit out.
Yeah, as in get you better gear.
He's looking after you as a fellow paladin.
Yeah.
They're useful.
Well, now let's turn it the opposite way.
Now then they just start marching in the other direction.
No, they start marching backwards. Vault dance, vault dance, vault dance.
Okay, so he picks one of the swords and thinks this one would match you the best. So he hands you this blade that is described in the following way.
Okay. Ooh. Oh dang. Okay. Let me write all this down.
I'll read the prayer that's inscribed to her.
Okay, once activated, essentially you are immune to the effects or can dispel the effects of any sort of mind affecting ability or compulsion. Let's see here, for 2d4 rounds, essentially. This effect is usable once per day. It otherwise is a +1 holy longsword, so it does radiant damage. Do those things where it matters to that is radiant damage.
So it has like built-in smite, or is it like radiant instead of slashing?
You can choose to do radiant damage instead of slashing. So.
Oh, that's convenient.
Well,
Because
that
pro tip, basically nothing resists radiant damage. At least nothing in the rule books. Lawrence
And-
could obviously brew up something.
And then effectively it does double damage to 2d8 damage to devils, demons, and the undead. So
reminder: longswords 2d8 if one-handed. They do 2d10 or 1d10 rather. 1d8 one-handed, 1d10 if two-handed.
So wait, okay, so the damage is 1d10.
If you use two hands, which means you can't use a shield.
Okay. And then 1d8 with
If
one
you use if you use a shield, or if you two hand, like if you have two long swords, each of them
Okay, so 2d8 to all the bad things, 1d8 normally, radiant damage affects everyone, and now I can also dispel
you can either make yourself immune to basically any sort of mind affecting effect. So it's like fear, charm, domination, let's see here, suggestion, essentially. So
Okay, perfect.
That seems
Essentially
like that
got
might
the
be
monk
really
ability.
good with the Yellow King popping up periodically. That seems
Yeah,
quite timely.
that is exactly what my brain went to. So I can dispel that for myself and not for others.
you can either use it basically to make yourself immune to these effects for 2d4 rounds, or you can use it to dispel the effect on somebody else.
Okay.
This can be done twice per day.
Okay. 2 times.
So you could make this into a magical item.
Okay. Yeah. All right. All that written down, and then it's just like a normal, sort of longsword, but with
We
radiant
don't have
damage.
to roll. Let's just make it 3 rounds. Period. It's like, so for 3 rounds, you can either make yourself immune for 3 rounds to mind affecting effects, or you can dispel the effect on somebody else twice per day.
And so Zumlar is now going to look around for something for Mack.
Right. Well, Mack, are you willing to use an axe?
Mack is not looking for a physical weapon per se.
So maybe an amulet or something will give him slight powers or strength.
Mack has an idea of where he could find one of those. He just points out the door toward the howling.
You're looking around across the 9 knights of the realms here. It's like unlike the swords, essentially, there is a girdle of giant strength in there. You knew that one of the knights had one. Essentially, you can see it on his person still.
What What type?
So this is strength 20.
So this is okay. Hill giant.
Hill giant strength.
Still, that's
Oh yeah.
better than nothing.
I'm
And
kind
then-
of looking at it now for myself, but
But this is the problem, essentially. As soon as Zumlar recommends this, essentially, he realizes that Mack is under the curse of the king and queen. There is no way in hell, basically, any of these knights are going to hand over their item to him.
That's right. Yeah.
That's why I know.
Unless, basically, Mack is willing to pick up a fairy curse or the enmity of a noble archfey, this is going to happen.
Yeah, that's why I said I know the power I'm looking for isn't in here. It's out there.
So can I pick up the hill giant strength?
Well, what else are you willing to sacrifice at this point?
How much more do you have left to sacrifice? Is the question.
So I gave up the memory of my captain.
Yes.
The golden good memories of my captain.
Yes.
I would have been great friends with the 9 knights of the realm. So I would give up.
You were never actually very close to the knights. They were sort of like kind of snobby and aloof and sort of kept to themselves.
So otherwise, I would have given up a good memory of one of them.
It's like the knights none of the knights seem to accept this as a reasonable exchange.
Yeah. Along with that memory, can I do my undying oath of vengeance?
You get the strong image of a British officer of the line that led the charge that is supposedly still around London. You have a clear mental image of this guy.
My hand will tighten on my blade, and I will accept.
Like,
and I will vow that he will die.
You have the spirit gives you an indication you have a year and a day to accomplish this feat. Otherwise, I am taking back what is mine. As you strap the girdle to yourself at this point and feel a surge of giant strength. You needed to use an attunement slot to use the girdle of giant strength.
Oh, actually, I don't have.
Okay, and then likewise, Owl, the sword of virtue beyond reproach is likewise requires an attunement slot.
Okay. Well, I think I have like one of those left.
Okay.
And one's taken up by my arm.
Sorry. So Zumlar is now going to, the second they get back, he's going to hunt down this officer.
Okay. Does he say that? Like, do we know what just happened?
Well, he swears to hunt down some guy named Neville Nesmith.
Okay, buddy, we'll help with that. We're not going to just, like, stab him in the street, okay?
I'm sorry, I misclicked on something. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
So, Dirk's saying, hey, buddy, we're not just going to stab Neville in the street, okay? We'll help with this. You know, your goal is our goal, but we're not just going to walk up and stab him in the street and let you get thrown in jail.
Dirk at the back of his mind is going, I saw this guy in the paper. He's one of the lords in the House of Commons currently.
That doesn't scare Dirk, but he still doesn't want to stab him in the street in front of a bunch of witnesses. We're going to have to have a tactical plan, but we'll help.
Yeah.
Okay. 21 strength now. Nice. I have a +10 to attack now.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, let's see here. All right. Okay, so you continue to putter around the main hall at this point.
Um, you said that the magical table could be used to scry.
I believe it was the map on the
You're
table.
guessing it's used to scry the battlefield, is what it's like. It's a powerful
Oh,
magic device for
okay.
using to scry the battlefield.
But we couldn't scry back where we came from. Okay.
Yeah. It's also I'm assuming you just cast Identify on the war table at some point or another. So it can be used to play back battles. The individual figurines, you're guessing some of these figurines literally on the board would allow you to transport to the location of a matching figurine basically out in the field. That is what. So this is a magical playback device as well as some sort of magical transportation device. If you could actually go out and find the other matching piece that basically matched some of the field pieces on this table, you could teleport back and forth between the basically two pieces.
Can we tell on the battlefield which ones might relate to the pieces? I mean, I guess they would be where it is on the battlefield, right?
Exactly. They'd be 1-to-1 where they are on the battlefield. So you were
Anyone?
willing to go wander around outside, basically the golden keep, and find some of these fallen units. You might be able to recover their token, basically royal token.
So are there like holes to the wall that are like exposed to outside air, or are we like fairly like inside right now?
You're definitely inside, but I'm saying you cannot hear like weird moaning and whistling because the whole structural integrity of the keep is like compromised at this point. It's like this place was probably under siege for the better part of a month by cannon fire. So,
yeah. So throughout this entire time, Mack has been just like, well, other than following
there's
along.
there's this annoying high pitched whistle, like ultrasonic level whistle going on in this place. This Mack is just like rubbing his ears every so often. It's like, oh, that is really annoying. That is really.
Yeah, none of you can hear it, but God is to make it stop. He's trying to have been listening for any sort of like, I guess, howl or like, yeah, basically howls or noises of other barghasts on the outside, but like something that he can track, not just like random ones here or there. Like,
okay, since you're actually listening for this, make a perception roll DC 11.
$16.
Nice.
All right. You hear whispering in the walls. It says like, we should strip the flesh from their bones, render their fat into soap. Essentially, the living have no place here in the ruins of the Golden Keep. The walls are sort of like whispering to you like sweet nothings of like terribleness as Max sort of like holds his ear close to the wall and can clearly hear this stuff, and he's wondering why nobody else can hear any of this.
Bitter nothings.
Bitter nothings, exactly.
So, can Dirk take the figures that are on the table, or are they covered by the ghosts as well?
No, there's no person that is associated with it. No one owns these per se.
Okay.
So you sort of just like pick up like a random selection of figurines and sort of take a quick table napkin drawing of the map and trying to orient it to the keep to try to figure out where these units were out in the field.
Right. Yeah, that seems like that would be handy.
So I hear the bitter nothings, but no howling or anything from at least in here.
But the bitter nothings become more pernicious and more frequent as if they're seeing more of them and they're gathering around you. Some unseen force that is of malevolence that is basically getting ready to jump you guys.
Guys,
So do you
do you hear that?
What?
Everybody's looking at you like
Huh?
you're like, what?
You don't
What?
hear
I
it?
don't hear
Everyone
that.
get ready. I hear it.
Yeah, Krishana's just been walking around humming to herself. She doesn't hear anything.
You guys serious? You don't hear any of that?
Hear what?
Are
Words.
his ears just kind of going like little radar dishes?
That's exactly.
And Owl's just distracted by that.
Which direction is it coming from, Mac?
Is it coming from a direction, or is it just like
Coming from
surrounding
everywhere, the walls.
The
So
walls have...
Zumlar's going to attempt to hone in on what he's possibly hearing.
Okay, I need a perception check as well.
I want to do the same.
Natural 20 for 23.
No,
Okay.
Nice.
Perception. Oh, I'm a -1. Okay, I still want to try.
I'll try to. Just
I
for
got a
giggles.
nat 1. Wait, no, I got a 7. Sorry.
Al has no idea what you're talking about.
She's
Dirk
still
is also going, no idea what you're talking about. Zumlar is like begins to hear these mad whisperings of basically that like these people with you are not worthy to be in Tir Na Nog. Essentially, you as we call upon you, our royal knight brother, to purge Tir Na Nog of these interlopers. Okay, I need a wisdom save from what is it, Mack at this point?
Okay. Wisdom save, you said?
Yes,
I can do that.
Can I try to convince
20.
the...
Dirty 20.
30-20, okay.
Can I try to convince them that they are worthy? That my friends are worthy?
You, Zumlar starts having a conversation back with the walls at this point. It's just like, so at this point, everybody else in the group is basically...
Mac just nodding along like this makes perfect sense. Like, yeah, see, I told you. Noises.
noises.
Do you think,
Everybody's
guys?
looking at Zumlar like he's really, really gone insane at this point.
Do you think, guys, maybe it's time to get out of here?
What's wrong with talking to a wall? I talked to a crow.
My best friend on my shoulder is a crow. Like a raven crow.
Ah!
Sure. But else, I just.
But Mac told us to get ready.
It feels like there's something here. Like...
Okay, Zumlar, the voices get more and more insistent. I need a wisdom save.
Dirty 20.
Okay, they're insistent, but it's like they do not affect your thoughts on whether or not you should act on them at all. So you, like Mac, are going, okay, that's esoterically interesting and makes me seem like a crazy person, but unless ghosts start climbing out of the walls, I'm going to ignore that for now.
Can I sense, like, I know the voices?
You
Or,
want to
like, do
use
I
divine
recognize-
sense to see if there's actually something there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, there are undead in the walls.
Man, big surprise.
Okay, and do I, like...
They seem to be
can I-
hanging out in the walls and not assaulting you at the moment, but that's not an assured state, essentially.
And they clearly, like, fellow knights, right?
You're guessing they're the spirits of the dead that died here, and they are restless. But
You're
that
not
being
gonna
said,
know when
you are a fellow knight. Your group has been relatively respectful of the ways of Tir Na Nog, so they don't seem to be basically have immediate ill intent towards you. If someone wants to cast Speak with Dead, perhaps you can have a more clear two-sided conversation with them.
Man, imagine being able to cast spells. Not me.
I don't think I have that.
Do you have third levels? Do paladins get third level spells yet?
I have, like,
No.
one
Probably
third-
about 9th, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're half casters, so Dirk doesn't have it either.
Okay.
Krishana,
have-
do you have it?
That is not in my repertoire, no.
Okay.
You, why would I want to speak to the dead? They're dead.
You're dead, that's good, amen.
They could tell you where all the good drugs are.
Like,
Zumlar's
I
gonna
feel
shoot
like
us.
Krishana's been finding it pretty damn well on
Speaking
her.
of which, Krishana, have you been looking around for random stuff to eat and or drugs and drink?
Well, if I saw some drugs, I'd probably pick that up. But
How
I've
do
been
you know what
trying to
elven
get
drugs look
everything
like?
else.
That's the fun of it, isn't it? Is you're learning what they look like.
Yeah, that's the experiment of try everything, which is not a good one. Gonna shove friggin' elven ashes up your nose, gain their life experiences? That's not how that works.
Yeah.
I do have proficiency
Krishana,
with
roll me
brewers.
20 higher's better for looking around for random stuff.
Random shit
On a
check.
side drug raid.
Well, I mean, it seems like something picked all the food and drink.
I got a 16.
Got a 16. Okay, you notice sitting on a ceramic, a beautiful porcelain dish is a beautifully, perfectly preserved cupcake with rainbow sprinkles.
Oh no. Oh no.
Aren't
Well,
you
I
not
ate the
supposed
candy
to?
as a
Really
test,
tempting.
so
It's just like it must be magically preserved.
The last time
You sort of
someone
give
made
it a
a
delicious.
slight squish. It's
cupcake.
basically still squishy.
Oh, we're not supposed to
It
eat
smells
things
like
in the
delicious.
fay,
like,
right?
it smells like a little bit of vanilla and cinnamon.
Sounds so tasty though.
yeah, Krishana will eat it. She ate the candy from the desk, and it seemed fine.
Oh boy.
So, Krishana, do you basically like take a lot of candy from the desk, or you just take like one piece of candy from the desk?
A handful.
You take a handful and stuff it into a pouch. Okay, great. All right. All right. The handful of candy you grab essentially will act as good berries. Essentially, you have 10 uses of that. Essentially, so you heal 1 hit point when you eat a piece of candy.
And all the food that you need for the day.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was about to ask, do they
So-
function as good berries?
Hit function has good berries.
So if she gets
Good-
peckish in the middle of a mission, we can have her eat a good berry.
Yes. All right. You eat the cupcake. It's very lovely and light and has a wonderful sweet light taste. It's like you're going, Elvish baked goods are the best. And then you start tripping balls as you basically start tasting sounds and
Are there dragons in the kitchen?
basically, yes, exactly. You see trails as people are walking in front of you. It's like a rainbow. Everybody looks like Nyan Cat with a rainbow trail behind them.
Does
She's
Zumlar
just gonna
recognize
smile
her-
in delight.
Does Zumlar recognize the cupcake? Or the candy that
Not
he
at
just-
all. It's like this would be just common. There's sweets all around the castle at all times because in better times, essentially the Golden Keep would have been a joyous place, essentially, which celebrations almost 24/7. So it wasn't until the war that basically it became sort of a grim place to be. So for you, in the back of Zumlar's mind, he just like pays it no mind that there's a piece of pastry or a cake basically sitting out in the open because that would have been super normal.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. So however, Krishana, you can see the spirits of the dead floating around. One of them sort of floats on up to you and goes, that really wasn't meant for mortals to Elvish treats from Tir Na Nog were really not meant for mortals to consume.
Do you have a
Who are you?
recipe? Greetings, I'm Krishana. I'll give my full formal noble name, descendant of blah. Do you have a recipe, sweetie, for this? This is awesome.
Well, I can certainly get it for you, dear guest. So you have this sort of like officious-looking woman in a maid's uniform. It's like, or at least what the elves passes as a servant's uniform. It's like a simple green tunic. She has a sort of like matronly face, and she's like a little bit above middle age. Which unfortunately means basically she looks like a human 20-year-old. Essentially, it's like, you're half elf though, right?
Yeah, half elf.
Okay, so yeah, you're completely used to this. You can tell the age of an elf. A lot of everybody else is just like, outside of you and Zumlar, it's just like assume all elves look ageless. So, until they keel over dead, at which case it's like, yes, they must have been old at that point. All right, so she's like, Sweetie, I'm gonna have to tell you that your friends should leave here as soon as possible. Regardless of your friendliness with us, the spirits, the curse of Tir Na Nog will eventually take its toll on your group. And then there's the guardian outside that will not let you leave.
There's a guardian that won't let us leave?
Yes. While you may enter Tir Na Nog, you may never leave.
Hotel
that's not
Tir Na
nice
Nog.
looking.
Wait. Okay, that makes me beg the question. If it doesn't let anyone leave, how did I get out?
No, I'm saying basically the people outside got cursed when the curse got applied, and you all retreated back at that point. So you weren't inside the Golden Keep essentially when the curse went off. Essentially, most of you were outside. Those people actually in the Golden Keep never left. Essentially, which is probably one of the reasons why the whole force retreated at that point, because that was the last bastion of Tir Na Nog and the last bit that needed to be conquered, and that was it. So.
Sweetie, did you want any last rites or anything special done to honor the dead here?
Well, if you could return the spirits of the king and queen to this place, we could move on, essentially. But until that happens, we are cursed to stay here forever.
Do you know how I would do that? Are they in a jar somewhere under?
The Britons took their spirits in the form of 2 crystals with them back to Britain.
That wasn't nice of them. Why would they want the souls?
Well, they're valuable gems, essentially. But the king and queen stashed their souls away within their crowns.
This nice lady wants us to leave. She doesn't like us being here. Something about a curse eating us? I don't know.
I think it's probably time, guys. Can we go?
Zumlar noticeably restless.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, there are certainly
Zumlar,
other places to explore around here, but you get the distinct feeling that all sorts of nastiness awaits here. So it just depends on whether or not you want to continue to explore. So
Zumlar will, before they leave, Zumlar will approach the throne, and one last time he'll pretty much draw his blade, place it down, and then reaffirm his devotion to vengeance.
okay, you kneel. The spectral form of the Yellow King like reappears above the broken thrones. It's like, it pleases me that you basically try to seek vengeance for the dead, essentially. But Tir Na Nog is mine and will remain mine so long as the king and queen are away. So if you are pledging your allegiance to the throne, you are pledging your allegiance to me. As you feel like. As Zumlar feels this sort of sick, twisting sensation in his stomach. As his once black blade sort of like has this weird, basically yellow aura around it now.
Can I try to attack him?
Sure.
And say, how dare you sully the Tir Na Nog?
Okay. Alright, roll to hit.
So it's 26 for the first roll. And a natural 20 for 30 for the second.
Tattered cloth and and sort of spectral bits of ether dissipate into non-existence as your sword rips through the sort of this tattered robe of the spectral figure in front of you. It's like, and then there's and then afterwards you just see her. Go forth, Vengeance Knight. Seek vengeance in my name. It's like this.
And I will say never, only for the king and queen of the true king and queen of Tir Na Nog.
All you will find in your quest is despair. It's like, and then there's silence.
Well, fuck
Does
that guy.
the blade still have that yellow hue to it, or no?
It has a yellow aura around it. You don't know what that means, but it's like, at this point, the longer you stay around here, the more likely you are to get base. At this point, Zumlar has the distinct feeling that perhaps we've overstayed our welcome at this point, and the curse is beginning to have its way.
So yeah, so I'm like, everyone, let's go. Now.
Yep, let's do
Mack,
it.
Mack doesn't
Hurry
even.
out the door.
You walk back out the front door, and the gaping hole that is the front door. You head outside. It's hard to tell if it's day or night around here. It's just sort of this completely evenly gray sky with no sign of where the sun is. It always seems to be like perpetual twilight around here. The curse stones, you're noticing, like, several of them are missing at this point. You don't know whether or not that's good or bad. As you step out into the courtyard, you quickly realize it's bad, as several of the curse stones basically have, like, agglomerated together and sort of formed this, crudely formed skull made up of curse stones that seems to be floating in midair. Its eyes glowing with black and white magic, essentially, as these blazing orbs of magical energy where its eye sockets should be have formed, and then it spits out unintelligible gibberish, and everybody has this sort of sinking feeling in the pit of their stomach. Everybody make me a wisdom save.
Do we get our aura as paladins? So we get like a +2 on saves? Or
Yeah, you can fly your aura once. You cannot stack it.
18 plus whatever paladin aura.
19
Natural
plus 5.
20.
So, what is the plus factor?
+2.
It's like
Okay.
3 for.
Three.
Owl.
Okay, one of them has
and-
3, so use the 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
I
about
think
to
Owl
say.
has 3.
So that gives
Yeah.
Dirk a 12. Does he need to re-roll this?
That gives me a
Yes.
27.
So I got a 22.
Okay, so I got a 17. Does that work?
Okay, 17 is fine. DC
Okay.
is 15. So, okay, so if you got 15 or better, you take 15 maximum hit point damage. So your maximum hit points are reduced by 15. Otherwise, you take 30 maximum hit point damage.
Ooh.
15 damage.
Okay, so we take 15 off, and then our maximum is reduced by 15. Is that what I
That is
understand?
correct.
Okay.
Okay, and then that's where we're going to begin our session next week. So. As you now have to battle the living curse of Tir Na Nog as you try to exit Tir Na Nog. Exit the Golden Keep.
How metaphorical.
Yes.
Yep, and we ain't got no spell slots, and now we ain't got no HP, but
I still have my fists.
I have a couple spell slots. I have some what is it? What is that one spell? Like sunlight thingy. One sec.
Daylight?
No, well I do have daylight, but I'm also saying
Sunlight
I have
spear.
sunlight spear. That shit hurts.
I made that.
Yeah.
oh, that's a homebrew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I literally made that spell.
Ryan always comes up with great homebrews. Oh.
Okay.
Well,
great.
thank you, Lawrence. That was
I don't know
amazing.
if it's good enough for like if Lawrence is happy with it, but it's never been complained about before, so I assume it's okay.
No, that's fine. That makes
I basically took it from
marginal
Dark
sense,
Souls.
essentially, that if you can have a solar attack spell. I don't see that as a big
It's
deal.
basically a paladin version of like what do you call it? Guiding bolt, but
bolt.
instead of advantage, it knocks them prone. Because it's what Gwyn used to hunt dragons.
Yes.
Oh.
Gotta knock them out of the sky somehow.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
in Dark Souls, dragons are weak to lightning damage, but since like lightning and holy in Dark Souls are sort of like synonymous, so I'm like, no, it's paladin, it's radiant damage.
Seems right.
Well-
Seems right.
I stole it.
Yeah, for some reason I don't know why D&D Beyond exactly does this, but any homebrew thing I make somehow shows up in all of your like libraries or some shit. Like you could pick Sunlight Spear, even though I doubt you have it added to your like personal D&D Beyond collection. Like if you don't have subscription, you can't even do that. So I don't know how my spell ended up in your spell list.
That happens
know
in
if
one
I
of my other
published.
campaigns where there's some homebrew, and it's like if it's in the campaign, it seems to show for all of us. Because
Yeah.
somebody made a cantrip for making
Yeah.
bacon, and so one of the guys
Making bacon.
took making bacon, and anytime there's like, he just makes it all the time, and he actually he has
No,
he has
good bacon.
he has animal messenger, and he was trying to send a threatening message to somebody, and he sent a bird with a piece of bacon strapped to its leg to go threaten the guy, so I knew it came from him.
Oh fuck! This bird has bacon on it.
So, before next week, like at the beginning of the battle, Zumlar's going to cast aid on everyone, or on
Why would
The
you give us
3D.
AIDS?
aid.
Oh
Aid.
wait,
God damn it,
Come on.
dude!
I'm sorry. That was in bad taste.
Get out.
God, just go. You're
Just
you're
let him cast aid. It's protection against puns.
It's
Sounds like some shit from a
It
I
increases-
get +5 against puns.
So it increases the 3 people I choose hit points by 5.
So it's a little bit of a boost.
Yeah.
Sounds like an excellent plan. I am so brain dead, guys. I love you. Thanks for playing. Thank you, Lawrence, and I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Fun game.
Bye, guys.